Professor Brain Brown's research shows that vulnerability fosters good emotional and mental health. It is a sign of courage. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we are feeling. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast is a space for scientists to tell their honest and authentic stories. I am your host, Sarah Nyakeri, who happens to be a scientist, informal science communicator, and I help scientists create personal websites. If you want to support this show, go to www.patreon.com/thevulnerable-scientist. You can also follow this podcast on all social media platforms at TV Scientist Pod. Hi, welcome to another season of the Vulnerable Scientist podcast, and I'm your guest today, not your host, Sarah Nyakeri, and I'm going to host myself too. So the question is, how am I? I wouldn't say happy. Okay, I learned this thing recently. I don't know if I should quote the source, that joyful is a state of, I don't know, it's a continuous state of being happy, I guess. I don't know, I can't remember that definition well, but whatever I'm feeling now, I think it is that thing, that joy. I'm not like particularly stressed or annoyed or having any negative emotions. I'm just not sad. Let me say that. I'm not like particularly elated or excited. I'm just functioning and not stressed. Like I know it looks like it's normal, but it's not normal as such for me. I'm usually, oh my God, that's painful. Yeah, my emotions are still okay. It's just physical pain. Anyway, I'm usually most of the time stressed out, or maybe sometimes I'd be particularly very happy. Like today, I was looking for an audio to use for the background for the intro of this podcast, and I came across this song. Let me just play it for you. The weird things that make me happy. Can you hear that? Should see my face. I laughed so hard until I cried. I don't know why it's funny. I just thought about it like being a background that for the intro. Just, I don't know. I don't know why it made me so happy. I have no idea. Anyway, just to back up. So I'm not like happy. Okay, except now I'm particularly very happy because of that song. But joy, or rather whatever I was feeling, was not like particularly very happy. It's just there. It's very rare for me to feel that way. Like, it's a very rare feeling. It's either I'm very happy or I'm just sad or fatigued or stressed or maybe overwhelmed about something. There's always something going on. And I don't know why, because first things first, I was supposed to be in Migori this weekend. I was being taken out for a date. Was it a date? I don't know what to call it. And I was so excited because, for one, I was going to learn more about this person, and he seemed to be a nice guy, like genuinely, those people who can't hide their niceness, especially to other people. It's just amazing to see that. It's very refreshing to see that in people. So yeah, So I was very excited to know more about this person, and I think some part of me wanted to find fault, and maybe now I can see, like, I can view them as more human. I don't know what's wrong with me with that. Anyway, but the person cancelled, and rather, he didn't even cancel really. He just went mute, and it's not like I'm making excuses, but I thought like maybe he got tired because he had not slept. I don't know why I'm talking about someone else on this podcast. Why am I doing that? But anyway, the point is, I wasn't angry. I was disappointed that I wasn't going to go. But I don't know, I hadn't put so much hope, and that is very me. Because there was a possibility of that being cancelled. But I was hoping like the cancellation will be more communicative. Anyway, so that is weird that I am in a happy mood. I think I'm in vacation mode in some sort. So yesterday I left work early, which is very, very rare, and that felt good to just walk out voluntarily. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm okay. It's not like I'm forcing myself. I'm like, sorry, you have to go home. Or it's too late now, you have to go home. Or you have a lot of work, but you can do it another day. It was more of, I am happy I'm going home. I'm satisfied with what I've done. Like, I'm happy I'm going home. And I came home. I wasn't under pressure because I have other things to do, but I wasn't in the pressure of doing the other things. I was like, let me just settle and be happy. And I thought, oh my God, it's Sabbath. I missed singing. During the week, I had listened to one of my previous videos that I've been featured in singing, and I was like, oh my God, I miss music. I had talent. I don't know where it went. I should go back to it. And oh my God, I have news. I just bought what is it called? A new mic. Dynamic mic. I've always wanted to buy a dynamic mic, and I finally did. So this is my birthday present. Oh my God, this was my birthday present. I think that was a justification for me when I was just thinking about the money that I'm spending on it. And I just said, Sarah, you've never received a gift of this amount. It's not the amount though that counts, but it's never happened, or you've never valued yourself enough to see that you are worth this certain amount. So why don't you do it? And that's why I did it. It's part of the reason why I did it. But anyway, whatever. So I had this mic, and I was just thinking, okay, by the way, I've seen people record with this mic, songs with this mic. I should do that. And I started recording songs. Of course, they didn't work out because I'm a perfectionist, a very struggling perfectionist, and in terms of music especially. And I got tired of singing. I mean, my throat is painful up to now. I mean, I strained my vocals like crazy. I'm even thinking maybe it's sore throat. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a certain pain at a certain point in my vocal space that is very painful. Like, it's from strain, and I've never had it before, and I don't know why, but after having that pain, it was easier for me to sing higher notes. Anyway, that's another story. Then after that, I watched a movie, a very nice movie. It was out of character, like I don't watch sci-fi. Yes, I know I'm in science, but I don't watch sci-fi. I don't know if that's the reason why don't watch sci-fi, or it should be a reason I should be watching sci-fi. I have no idea, but yeah, I just don't. I don't watch sci-fi. And I saw it was sci-fi, but I liked the context, like the idea of about time, and it was something in time. Yeah, that's the name of the movie. It's about time being equated like directly, like time is money, like the first time is money, like literally. The movie takes time to be money, like the currency of payment, and it's the currency. yeah, I don't know if that's been captured on this because the gain is at the fullest. But there's some noise, and I don't know if it's being captured. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So it was using time as the dividing factor between societies, between classes, between the rich and the poor, and how the rich control the poor in terms of whatever. It was just, it's kind of societal relational thing. And I just loved the story. I loved the way it was made. Of course, it wasn't like real, but it is real in some sense. And I like that. I like such movies that make me think. And after that, I saw a post by someone about something. I can't remember, and it was related to it. And I texted that person, and I can't remember what it is about. Anyway, I slept late in short. I tried recording a podcast. I couldn't. My throat was still painful. I slept late, yes, but when I woke up, I was so happy. Oh my God, I was like literally happy. Like, oh my God, I've woken up. I'm not like feeling, oh my God, I've slept so much. Like, I usually feel like that when I wake up. Like, oh, I've wasted so much time. There's so much pressure I've already put in myself in the morning. I've just realized that right now, like when I'm speaking about it. Anyway, I'm also happy because the question that I've been dying to answer, yes, my research is okay, when asked, how is the research going, it has finally come to be. Like, yes, there's the pressure of time. Yes, I might not be able to do everything that I hoped to have done or to be done by the time I'm completing my research, but I feel good that it finally worked. Like, oh my God, like I finally figured it out. Though at the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, I wish I had known this earlier, which is not realistic. I know, but it's different when saying something and believing whatever you say. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that I'm not as worried as before. I'm also happy because I enjoyed making a poster. Okay, so there's this competition at work for the fellows, and it's a 3-minute pitch challenge, and I was very skeptical. I was not even thinking about it because for the past months I have been presenting in different audiences, and people have never really understood what I'm saying, or rather, I feel like people really don't understand because they don't ask questions that that communicate that someone has understood what I was saying. And that's really frustrating. That can be frustrating because, I'm looking for those questions that will make me think. I'm thinking of those questions that will make me think again, like, okay, what am I doing? Is this even making sense? I need like challenging questions, and I wasn't getting that, and that was frustrating. So I saw about that challenge. Of course, before I came to Avery, I was so excited about that challenge. I wished that I could do it, but it was, I don't know why, what happened, whatever. But now it is here, and I was not as excited to do it. I was like, let me just do it for the sake, because I actually did the poster presentation last minute, like designing it, the 1 minute slide. And when I was doing it, I really enjoyed. I was having a very tough weekend last weekend, a very tough one. But when I finally did it, the anxiety went. I was so happy. I was so satisfied with myself. Oh my God. Yeah. So when I was sending it, I thought, let me just BCC my supervisor. And when she saw it, the next morning, she didn't say anything. But when she came the next day, she was so excited, and she was just saying, oh, we can do this, you can do this. she was just excited to see, oh, can we move this? Can we move this around? I'm like, oh my God, why is she? I was just looking at her. I'm like, why are you so excited? I'm not even excited about it. It's just a challenge for me. I was like, if I do it, sure. If I don't do it, I don't care. But I just need to do it for myself. Like, just say, I actually tried, but I wasn't like, my heart was not fully into it. Like, I'm trying to win it. I was just, I know I can't win it. I know. This is just a waste of time, but it is important for me to actually try it because I have a chance to try it. Like, I am here now. I don't think I will have an opportunity like this again. So let me use it when it's there. That was the notion that I was running with. So, when I finally I don't know, redid it, or I don't know what happened. And the words, I know the kind of, I don't know why I'm already belittling it, but anyway, she said that, wow, you have a good way of communicating complicated science in a simple way. Like, she was so excited about what I had done that it made me actually believe, oh my goodness, this is nice, actually. This is something I actually designed myself. Like, I started like, sometimes you need someone to say very few words, very few positive words for you actually to start believing in yourself. Someone kept telling me that, another person has always been telling me that. And I've always thought, oh, this old man, oh my God, I hope he doesn't hear this podcast. Oh, this old man, he's always thinking so positively. As in, yes, I love that he says that because it encourages me. But deep within, I've never really believed what he says. And when she said that, like, it was so casual. It wasn't like she was trying to make me feel better. Like, there are those things, someone is trying to make you feel better. But there are those things that are so genuine. Like, they just come out and you're like, wow. You can start now believing, actually, it is true, So I feel very happy about, like, changing my perception about myself and how I communicate science. As in, that's a very big thing for me. The other thing that I want to finish off on this podcast is something that happened nearly 2 months ago. Honestly, when I am doing this is the fourth time I've attempted recording this, and I'm not sure if it's actually part of this. I don't know why I'm saying this when I'm actually going to delete this part. But yeah, this is so weird. Anyway, I'm still going to do it because it makes me feel happy anyway. So, that nearly 2 months ago, someone mentioned me on Twitter, and they had featured my podcast, and I was wondering, what is this? Who are this? How did they fund it? And I thought, do I know him? Do I know someone who knows him? I didn't even know it was a him at that time, but before I searched about it, and the most amazing thing is when I read about the review on that. Like, oh my God, oh my goodness, that made me so happy. And the blog is from the Out of the Booth podcast, and the blog section is called Today's Podcast Is, and I think he reviews Kenyan or African podcasts and gives his opinion. Yeah, that's what he does for this section. And mine was the fourth one to be mentioned. And you can imagine, this is me. I'm reading my podcast being talked about by someone who's not even in science, who's been in media for long, and who has a podcast. And they had time to actually listen through my podcasts. And oh my God, I'll link the blog. That made me so excited. Anyway, let me just talk about it. So, the caption of the picture, the logo that he took from my website is called The Vulnerable Scientist, a Kenyan podcast that focuses on stories with other scientists on their daily lives, their work, and how they got to where they are. this is not written anywhere. So of course this is a honest review. This is something that he thought about, he read, listened through, and that's how he got there. And that's amazing. Oh my God, it's such a big thing for me. It's just one, but it's such a very big thing for me. I didn't push this. I don't know anyone who pushed it. It's just someone saw it and liked it and listened and took time to write about it. Very, very nice words. I really love the writing skills of this guy. Is it the writing skills, or is just that he speaks about the truth about the podcast that I never saw before reading this? Some I didn't see, some were intended, and I didn't know someone would see that, because it was not outrightly that's what I said it. It just came out the way I wanted it to come out, and someone captured it. It's just amazing. Anyway, sorry. What does it take for you to be vulnerable? Are you comfortable with letting go and letting others in? What does vulnerable mean to you? In today's podcast scene, we rarely meet professionals from technical jobs that are actively involved in sharing the stories without having an emergency or trending topic that prompts their input. That notion is what this podcast fights, which is true. The Vulnerable Scientist is a Kenyan podcast that features scientists from various disciplines as they share the stories of how they got to where they are, what their tasks involve, what it takes to be in their profession, and advice they will share with other interested parties. It is hosted by Nyakeri, that decorated part I'm not sure about. Multidisciplinary, that's true, individual. The podcast takes on an interview conversational tone, with the featured guest taking up most of the time. One thing you'll love about this show is how human the guest sounds. Oh my God. So then he put a link to one of the podcasts by Dr. Frederick Mobegi, part 2. I think that was his favorite. I'm just guessing. Start listening here to hear how a vulnerable scientist sounds. That's amazing. Now, before you judge, everyone has their own idea of a scientist and people involved in the most technical aspects of society. Personally, the mental image that I heard involved a lab coat, a pair of reading glasses, and an ever-sober tone when they speak. This is the podcast that changed all of that. As soon as you start listening in, you hear the humor, the struggle, the casual, easygoing attitude, and most of all, you get to learn about science without the jargon. The Vulnerable Scientist is a Kenyan podcast. Okay, that's a repeat, but it's a picture in between. The podcast is targeted towards a young audience that is interested in science as a career option. Yeah, that's one of the things that it is targeting. In it, you find interviews with biochemists, bioinformaticians, academics, and a myriad of other individuals who do not only study the sciences, but also practice them. Often, these episodes are released in a series, with some having 2 parts and others having more. Each episode takes about 25 to 35 minutes for the series, or it will take a whole hour and more for a compact episode. The guests too are mostly Kenyans, but you'll find out that most of them found greener pastures in different lands. You can listen to the podcast directly from their website or check it out on your podcast streaming platform of choice. Wow, I applaud this guy. He didn't misrepresent my podcast. Just amazing. So this is just to let you know, out of the both podcast is Kenyan music podcast that covers, explores, and promotes the best of Kenyan music, focusing on rising and unexplored music. Is dedicated to uncovering their acts while creating a community of music lovers who believe that there is more to music than popularity. And that's true, because I listened two of the podcasts, and ouch, oh God, I'm so much in pain. And that's what he does. Anyway, you should follow this blog. I'll link it there. Oh my God. Yeah, that's how I am.